G'day, this is Simon at South OC Cars and Coffee. I'm seeing double today. I don't have one car of the week. I couldn't miss this opportunity. We've never had two of these cars here before. They're both really special. They both deserve car of the week. What are they, guys?
Renault R5 Turbo 2.
Yeah, that's right. Eric, yeah?
Yeah.
And Jeff. These two guys, hey, check these cars out. Very special. As I said, I thought I was seeing double. We've had one of these here before, and one of them came in this morning and I sent it down the front row, and then a second one came in. I mean, this is really, really special. Guys, tell us a story about these cars. These are not your average family sedan.
No, it's a homologation special that was created by Renault to go after the World Rally Championship. And in 1980, they basically released these, and they went out. Unfortunately, they ran into that mighty Audi Quattro at the time, and so from a success standpoint, they weren't very successful, but they ended up being an icon of France.
Absolutely, they were an icon. I mean, they were these were a rally car that was built to be like a, they were wide body, they were really, really special. And what were they based on? What was the basis of the car?
Just called a Renault 5, which had a front engine, two-wheel drive, front-wheel drive, skinny car. And so then what they did with the R5 Turbo 2 is they put the motor in the back, rear-wheel drive, they flared out the fenders, all meant for rallying.
I mean, this is the ultimate wide body kit when you look at this thing, and just think about it for a moment. You've got a car with a motor in the front, and now to go to the rally world, you go, okay, let's just stick it in the back, make it this a mid-engine car. That's no mean feat. That seems like the sort of thing that a group of guys would do after too many beers in a garage somewhere, doesn't it?
Yeah.
With the French, though, it would have been the France Champagne, I'm sure. But really, really special cars. These cars, there's something unique about the fact, too, that they are both the same, but they're both different. We've got on the blue one on the right-hand side, that's special in its own right, correct?
Yes, it's got some factory modifications like wider wheels that were made by Gotti, an Italian manufacturer. And then just different upgrades to the car that increase the horsepower, things like that.
And over this side, we've got one that's basically completely stock the way it came from the factory. And we say stock, but...
Yeah, I mean, what really differentiates it from Eric's car is my car has the original metric wheels. It's got the 185 horsepower kit on it, but it's all basically stock seats, stock components, whereas Eric's is a little more tweaked.
Yeah, let's go around these cars individually and have a chat about them. Eric, you can tell looking at this car that this is not the same as the other one. It's more aggressive, it's got those seats, it's got those wheels. What attracted you to it? How did you end up with this car?
Well, when I was a little boy, I got a remote control car from Radio Shack. It was a blue Renault R5 Turbo, and that was the start of my love for these cars. So over years and years, 37 years specifically, it took me to find this marine blue R5 Turbo, and then I went about building it into the car you see here. I wanted gold wheels, gold roll cage, red harnesses. I wanted a very specific car.
It's really, really special. You can just tell looking at this car that it's not something people normally see on the streets. What kind of looks do you get in it?
A lot of cameras come out.
Yeah, and a lot of, what is it?
Yeah,
right?
And people ask me, did I make it?
Really?
Is that a VW Golf? Is that a Mini?
That is
a lot of that.
Yeah.
But the people that know what it is, they absolutely freak out. They love it. I've been pulled off the road like by a bread truck once, where a Frenchman said, he forced me off the road to talk to me.
That is so funny. Let's have a look at the motor in this thing, because we're not lifting the hood in this car. We can do it in one of them, pretty much see a similar sort of thing. There's the motor back there behind the seat. So the firewall is right behind the seats. Tell us about the motor these things have in them.
It's a 1397cc turbocharged four-cylinder, and it's called a Cleon four-cylinder.
That's Cleon, not Klingon,
yeah,
for all those Star Trek fans out there.
And some of the minor modifications this one has is a larger intercooler.
Over here, yep.
Yeah, larger intercooler, a little more boost, and they're real simple, but they don't take to a lot of modification the way a modern car does.
Yeah, right.
So your max power is about 200 horsepower out of one of these.
Yeah, but let's think about the time when this was built, the weight of the car and everything else. This, aside from the Quattros, which, as you said, the Quattros came along well, they had to change some of the rules just to everyone else to be competitive again, but this was a serious contender for the World Rally Championship in those days.
Early turbocharging from a company that specialized in Formula One.
Yeah, and think about that. There's a lot of pedigree there. We think of Renault as a company. Let's pop that back in there so we can have a look at the rest of the car. It's just a really, really, really special little car. I love that carpet colour as well. Talk to me about these wheels. You picked those out for it?
They were a factory option back then, so I had to source 1983 wheels for a 1983 R5 Turbo secondhand.
Oh,
It took me a while.
I bet it did. Oh, they look great on there when the things are so wide. And the little skinnies on the front. I love this car. It's so cool. Well, there's number one. Let's have a look at Jeff's car and hear a little bit about that. Jeff, this is the original take on this car. Exactly the same question I asked Eric. How did you come to own this beautiful, beautiful car?
Yeah, I bought it from the original owner. A few years ago, I tracked him down, met him at a car show just like this, and let him know I was really interested, kind of stalked him a little bit.
Well, that's
eventually he
sometimes you have to do that, don't you?
Right.
I love the interior in it too. It's just, you were saying before, you think the seats might have been redone, but that's how they would have looked originally, I'm sure.
Exactly.
Great looking interior. Nice little steering wheel in this thing as well. And one of the things I can notice, I don't know if we can see it through the reflection, it looks like there's plastic over the top of that engine cover. And the crazy thing is, you don't know whether that's original or whether that's something that somebody's done afterwards. I'm wondering whether it's the original plastic they put over to protect it during delivery.
Yeah, Eric and I were actually talking about it. I've talked to my mechanic about it, who's French, and he kind of knows a lot about the car. He was maybe thinking it was original, but then Eric thinks otherwise. I think it's probably aftermarket, but it kind of makes the shelf in the back really kind of usable.
Yeah, it looks really, really good. There's just something about these cars. How many years have you owned this one?
No, just a couple.
Not really?
Long.
Okay. And I don't see you selling it anytime soon, I'm sure.
No, this is a keeper.
Oh, what a great colour too. This is a pearlescent white. I hope the camera's picking this up.
Yeah.
And then those factory wheels we were talking about, that's what Eric's car would have come with from factory as well.
Exactly.
And talk about the size of those wheels, because there's something about that makes life a little interesting for you.
Right, so those are metric wheels. So the wheel is technically a 365 millimeter, and if you convert that, it becomes a 14.4 inch wheel in the back. The fronts are a 340 millimeter wheel. Convert that, and it turns into a 13.4 inch wheel.
And let's talk about how you get tires for a wheel like that.
Right, so it's a Michelin TRX tire. They are very specific, but they are available. Really, getting the tires is not a problem.
You know, it's interesting. This is not the first time that Renault has actually formed an alliance with Michelin. They're both French companies, and they had a car back in the 80s called a Fuego, which had the same thing. It was an unusual sized wheel that you had to buy that specific Michelin. And one of the things guys would do was actually swap out the wheel so they could put other tires on there as well. Well, these two cars, as special as they are, both get, for their efforts, these Maguire's complete kits, which include the hot shine foam, the quick interior detailer, the perfect clarity glass cleaner, the ultimate wash and wax, the hybrid ceramic detailer, and that microfiber. Keep these magnificent little Renault Turbo 2s looking in the pristine condition that they're in. Congratulations, and thanks so much for bringing them out.